Remember Who You Are, a true magical fairy tale by Jessica Chilton, Princess Number 3. This is the story of an empowered princess who has transformed from a damsel in distress. She comes from a history of being privileged, protected, and rescued. A time of darkness in her kingdom gave her the opportunity to find her own way, her own inner strength, her own ability to heal. She emerged as a catalyst for good in her kingdom, with magical powers to guide others on their own path of transformation. This story combines elements of fairy tale, hero's journey, wounded healer archetype, innocent magic of childhood, and a touch of Dr. Seuss to create a tale that inspires and delights all ages. A baby was born in the royal family, a bright spark, creative, powerful, and free. As soon as she could walk, she climbed the highest tree. At night she dreamed of flying from mountaintops into horizon skies, until the day she woke up to a sparkling surprise. The queen placed a tiara, balanced it on her head, said, "You are old enough now to live up to the princess stead. As you go about each day, remember who you are. You represent our royal family, and you must be our shining star." She became a good little princess who wanted to do everything right. She pleased and achieved and covered each sneeze and followed her older sisters with all her might. For years she bended and molded to fit into the shiny box, ended up all constricted but golden, with no key, instead only locks. Day by day she perfected her dream to live up to the praise of the king, who baritone sang to his shining star, "Remember who you are." Full of facade for all to applaud, she became quite lost in the mix, and figured that one day her prince would come and be the ultimate fix. But darkness fell on the kingdom. Princess Number 1 met her death. Shock and tears filled the moat where hope could not float, and Princess Number 3 became ill and bereft. Her body became her enemy. Full of pain, she could hardly walk. She sank quite low, lost all her glow, and filled herself with toxic talk. There were years of being rescued. Princess Number 2 would save the day. The king and queen would swoop in to help. Her current suitor would wipe her tears away. She looked to everyone who visited the castle to heal her and take away her shame. But the more she looked to others, the more she felt the pain. The pretty princess she could now be called, faced the wrath of another wrecking ball. Her knight in shining armor, who promised his love for life, broke her heart and chose another, stabbed her like a knife. Somehow this was needed, though. The cut that broke the tie that held her in the box of the fairy tale lie. She packed one bag, left all else behind, said she must now go. And as she crossed the castle bridge, she heard from high and low, "Be well, my princess, be safe, my star, and remember who you are." On the other side of the castle walls, there were no feasts, no jewels, no balls. She felt shame for all she had, telling no one the king was indeed her dad, pretended no power was hers at all, hid her tiara and shrank into small. And when they asked her, "Who are you?" she stuttered speechless, searching for a truth. Soon she met a humble man who swooned at her first sight, not knowing her as princess, but drawn to her inner light. He saw sickness and broken heart as the shell that hid the pearl. He professed he loved her and wanted to marry this girl. But she knew he did not fit her image of a prince, and she did not love herself, so his love did not make sense. She told him, "Thank you kindly, but I must bid you farewell. Perhaps our roads will cross again when I am strong and well." A butterfly caught her eye right then, and after it she did follow, to the edge of a beautiful forest, alone, without a fellow. She knew that the time had come to find her own way through, so she stepped onto the path to see what life would do. Around the bend she found a mirror, propped against a stone. She stopped and looked and saw herself clearer in a way she'd never known. She saw the weakness of the damsel who had been living in great distress. She saw the desperate reaching outwards for the fix, the praise, the happiness. She saw the crowd of rescuers surrounding from all sides. And then she saw the tears of release from all she has tried to hide. The butterfly called her on toward a special tree, so magnificent and strong, with hearts for deep red leaves. The princess sat upon the ground and rested on the bark. She stayed for days in sun and rain as the tree spoke through the dark. She felt as though roots grew from her into the earth, reclaiming each part of herself and each memory since birth. Acceptance entered. Forgiveness came. Unconditional love melted all the shame. Mother Earth showed up with peace, and through her roots she had a feast. Then she stood. She felt it time, and a powerful energy moved up her spine. She heard the tree speak in her core, "Remember who you are." Her heart immediately opened, and she spiraled deep inside to be and see the soulful truth of her loving inner guide. I am you, your brightest spark, your truest self, your greatest power. I am you, and you are me. Remember, this is who you are. She raised both arms in exultation, like the branches of the tree, and looked upwards to her bright potential that she now could clearly see. Like a child, she climbed to the treetop to delight in the expansive view, excited to see the mountaintop that this path is leading to. So onward to the mountaintop with ease and grace and sweat, and straight to the cliff's edge, as close as she could get. For she knew those childhood dreams were real, as her heart called her to fly. And she remembered who she really was, and leaned into the sky. Immediately she was transformed with wings of power and grace, and through the kingdom she did fly, liberation on her face. Through forgiveness she had healed the pain, loving herself forevermore. And with clarity, strength, and purpose, she now could swiftly soar. When landing back on the mountaintop, she knew that this was home. She built herself a castle from the words of this poem, and kept the walls all glass, for she had nothing more to hide. And the door was always open to welcome guests inside. She brought out her tiara and placed it on her head. This time the gems and jewels symbolized her spark that always led. She was ready to be princess, spark princess of the sky. She had only love for her royal roots, for they opened her cage to fly. Her castle became a beacon to which many traveled from far. The princess offered all her powers to help them remember who they are, to reconnect with their spark, their truth, their inner light, so each and everyone could make this kingdom bright. And one day it was him, the man who loved the pearl. He came to see the princess and realized it was the girl. She loved him right away, for love is her new truth, and asked if he would marry her and see their journey through. So with her prince and her open heart, she lived a life that was truly art, where each visitor made a mark and each winged flight inspired more. And when each traveler felt their spark, she would see them to the door and call after as they walked away. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. The end.